Hi there and welcome to the future. This is the second part of the time capsule blog. So here I am, exactly where I was about 8 months ago from now, in my dad's office again, back in Norfolk. I've been back about 4 days now and I'm ready to shoot off again on Friday. It's going to be a bit manic. So what I did was I asked myself some questions. And now I've been and done and dusted, gone, left. I'm going to answer those questions and I hope that you'll be able to get a good picture of the overall experience. So number one, the first question was about the weather because I was in the north of Spain in a region called Navarra. So really right at the top, close to La Rioja on the west and the Basque Country as well. So, am I wonderfully tanned? Well, I don't know. I'm much more tanned than my English friends, but I'm naturally quite a dark-skinned person anyway. But the weather, well, what I hadn't really thought about when I was asking this question was that I was never really going to be in Spain for the height of summer because my placement was always going to finish at the end of May. So, it was, if that had been an English summer, everyone would have been very pleased, but I only just got to see the best of the weather as I was leaving. My last weekend there was really great. We went to La Rioja and we went to some hot springs and we were just outside tanning all day and it was about 30 degrees and it was great. The second question that I asked was also about the weather, about something called El Cierzo and about if it snowed. So actually, about whether it snowed, this is a really weird question because I was so certain that it probably wouldn't snow. There was, I think right up until I left, you could see there's this mountain called Moncayo that's in Aragon wood anyway, so I could see another region as I was walking to school. Yeah, there was snow on the mountain the whole time and I went to Moncayo twice, and it's really weird because it can be quite warm in the town and then as soon as you go up into the mountains everything's covered in snow. Did I actually see it snow? I was in Pamplona one day, I think. It was sort of the wintry months and it was absolutely mad because I was in a cafe and I just looked out the window and it started snowing. It was like a proper blizzard and I got the train back and the train tracks were all covered in snow. It was really strange. I really wasn't expecting that from Spain. And the third question was about having enough tea. Did I have any tea emergencies? Well, I did bring some stocks with me. But being the avid tea guzzler that I am, those did not last me for very long. But because I was living with another English girl, the lovely Grace, if she's watching this, who was also as much a tea addict as myself, which was great news. We decided, I think it must have been about October, quite early in, end of October, beginning of November. We were like, you know what, let's just order a massive sack of tea off Amazon, a big old bag of Yorkshire tea, which is my fave, and we just split the price and we just didn't have to worry about tea for the whole year, so that was great. But before then I was thinking, once my supplies had run down that I brought with me, I had to buy some in the supermarket and it was really not good quality, it was really expensive, so that wasn't great. The long life milk is not a great addition to a cup of tea, but you do get used to it and after a while it starts not to bother you. So the fourth question, is my Spanish any better and has my vocabulary improved? I feel like my Spanish is a lot better. I feel like the main things are my accent and my confidence. My ability to understand other people as well has gone like a lot faster. People can speak a lot faster and I'll still be able to understand them much more than before. Yeah, the vocabulary as well. I'm really surprised about this. I didn't think that my vocabulary would increase that much, but I think without realising, I have learnt quite a lot of things. The things that are most obvious is the sort of terms that you wouldn't really use in a classroom or an exam. So sort of words for like mate, like hey, what else have I learnt? Oh, swear words, lots of swear words. Or even not swears, like curse words. I learnt a lot of vocabulary at church as well because that's the kind of things that obviously we don't talk about in the classroom, like the words for praying, the words for worship, the word for a church service, which is not servicio, No, that's talking about, you know, like going to the bathroom, not the same thing. So yeah, I feel this is probably the best my Spanish has been ever, and probably the best it's going to be for a long time. The fifth thing was about whether I have been on any fun adventures and done lots of cultural fun travelling. So I can say that this one wholeheartedly 100% yes. I'm really pleased with the amount of things I managed to see and do while I was there, which is, I really advise anyone who's going on a year abroad, especially if you're doing British Council, just see and do as much as you can in the whole country, because this is your year when you're going to be able to afford it and you've got the free time and you have the language ability, and it's just really taking advantage of everything you can from a year abroad. I saw loads of things. So we went to Madrid right at the beginning because we had a meeting before our British Council placement started. So we went to Madrid, obviously we went to Pamplona and Zaragoza because they're only an hour away or so. We went to San Sebastian, which is the coast of the Basque Country, really, really beautiful. The food is amazing. Last few weeks I went to Valencia. We fancied like a long, far away trip. That was nice. Obviously Moncayo. I went to the Bardenas, which is a natural park in Navarra, which is just desert, and apparently they filmed Game of Thrones there. What else did I see? Barcelona. I think that's the majority of the things I saw, actually. Number 6 was about budgeting, because I've never really had a point in my life where I've been like, oh, money's chill, like I'm not panicking about money. How did I deal with that? Well, before I had my first Erasmus payment, things were starting to get a bit skinny. And then once the Erasmus came in, after the first couple of months when I had my first payment from work and I had my Erasmus and I had my student loan, things were absolutely fine. Which was really strange, because for the first time in my life I didn't have to sit down and calculate every single penny or cent that was coming out of my account and think, oh my gosh, am I going to have enough money for, I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to be stupid with my money, but I'm not going to panic about it either. Like, if I want to go out and have a €2 pincher and a drink, it's not going to bankrupt me, and I don't need to worry about that. I also put quite a lot of money into savings so that I can do some travelling once I've graduated, and also to pay for my rent for my student house next year. Number 7 was about my spare time and whether I was productive or whether I just sat around working out how to get foreign Netflix and just sitting in my bed. Well, I think, to be honest, on the whole, my spare time was quite productive, but because I did school, which was 12 hours, and I did a lot of private lessons as well, I think that although I probably did have quite a few hours sat in my bed, just chilling, kicking back, after I've been working, I felt like I really needed it, and I think that was probably a good thing for my sanity. But yes, towards the end, I did work out how to get live streaming of Channel 4 and BBC, because I was kind of looking for some comfort from English culture, but no regrets. I think the balance was tipped in the right way. Question number 8. Would I go back to Tudela? And this question is kind of easy and kind of difficult, because yes, I would go back to Tudela because there's people I'd want to visit. I think I would feel quite nostalgic. It'd be kind of like going back to your old high school. So you think, oh, I remember when I was here, I remember this, I remember that. There's probably still people there you know, that you can talk to, but you don't have any desire to go back now and try and involve yourself, because you know that that was something that happened in the past and you feel like you're ready for the next thing. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like I had a really good time in Tudela, but I feel like I've got to know everything there is to know about Tudela, really. But would I go back to Spain? I don't know, that one's quite kind of debatable. I think it all really depends when I graduate about work and jobs. I think I'm more fussed about the type of work I get than where I end up living. In my head, the thing that I probably want to do the most is still have a base in England, but still travel a lot to Spain. I would want to work freelance and go to Spain, France, wherever, really, really often, to go and translate in meetings and things like that. But going back to Tudela specifically, I think that I've done my stint of living there. And finally, have I enjoyed my time in Tudela and working with the British Council? So I can say I have enjoyed my time with Tudela and working with the British Council. It hasn't been without its difficulties, because living abroad where you're speaking a different language and you're actually in a different culture is always going to have its challenges. But yeah, on the whole, I did really enjoy my time there, and I think British Council is a really great programme. I really recommend it for everyone because you have low hours, you have a really good trustworthy contract, the pay's good, they're always regular with their payments, I never had any problems. They sort out where you're going. It is a huge mountain of paperwork, but once you've got the paperwork done, everything's kind of like, that's it, done. So yeah, it's been a strange few months in Spain. There's been a lot of unpredictable experiences, I think, mostly to do with the kind of people that I met. I mean, I guess you can't really predict that because everybody in the world is different. I made some really, really good friends, some people who I'm really hoping to stay in contact with. And yeah, being in the north is really different experience from being in the south, but I'm really glad that I went somewhere different. It would have been nice to be a bit closer to the beach, I think. That's the only thing, if I were to go back and be really, really meticulous with what I would have wanted. But I definitely think living in somewhere that wasn't a huge city was a massive benefit because I had to speak English and it was novel to find someone who was not Spanish and someone who spoke English fluently, so that worked out really well for giving private lessons. Y gracias por ver este video y pues sin más no tengo más que deciros. Pues si vais a ir a España, mi mejor consejo sería aprovecha muy bien de la comida. Right before I was about to go to Spain, you have a really good trustworthy contract. You have a really good trustworthy contact. So the fourth question, is my Spanish better and is my vocabulary? Oh, got a little message there. You can just go away. Okay. But yeah, I'm